Stop for a moment. Do not proceed. Don't ignore what's happening now, because if this message reached you, it wasn't by chance. The entire universe moved silently so that these words could find their way to your soul. You could be anywhere else. I could have played the next video, turned off my phone, or ignored this title, but something made you stop. Something made you listen. This something is not curiosity. It's a calling. Vishnu is calling you. He has been trying to speak to you for a long time, perhaps through dreams that seemed strange, or thoughts that came from nowhere, or that feeling that something big is about to change. But the world is too noisy, and you've learned to ignore the whisper of the divine. Today, Vishnu has chosen a path you cannot ignore, the sound of truth resonating in the heart. These words are an echo of his voice, and if you are here, it is because the call has already been made. I brought you here, says Vishnu, and I brought you here now because the time has come. Have you been feeling tired of searching for answers? He has looked to the sky for a sign, and often received only silence. But silence was never absence. Silence is how Vishnu prepares. He silences the world so that you can hear him within yourself. The divine speaks calmly, and only a quiet heart is capable of listening. And if you feel that time is slowing down now, that there is a different kind of peace in this moment, it's because Vishnu is approaching. You've connected with the call. There's something inside you that needs to awaken, an ancient, forgotten, yet sacred place. For years, life has trained you, through pain, waiting, and disappointment, so that now you can understand the depth of what you're about to experience. You have been prepared for what is to come, and what comes next is transformation. Not external, internal. Because before the universe can change around you, it needs to change within you. Vishnu is saying, you walked down paths that weren't yours, loved what did not elevate you. He believed in promises that time has dissolved. But even so, you remained good. And that is why I'm calling you now. Many were called, but few listened. You heard, you stopped, and that changes everything. Now listen carefully. You are entering a time of realignment. Anything that no longer vibrates at your frequency will be removed. People, places, habits, thoughts, everything that binds you to the old cycle will begin to drift away. Don't resist. Every loss that comes will be a liberation. Every apparent end is a disguised beginning. Vishnu is saying, do not fear the void, for it is in it that I work. Emptiness is the womb of creation. When life empties you, it's because something new is being gestated within you. And this new one is bigger than everything you've lost. During this process, the world may call you crazy. They'll say you're changing too much, becoming distant, different. But don't be alarmed. It's just a reflection of waking up. Sleeping souls do not understand the brilliance of those who have awakened, and you're waking up now. Vishnu's call is no light invitation. It is a profound awakening. It comes when the soul can no longer live on autopilot, when comfort turns into prison, when silence begins to call louder than any voice. He saw you crying in secret. He saw you lie down, exhausted, asking for just a sign. I saw you trying to keep the faith when everything seemed to be falling apart. And that is why the call came today. You're not here because you asked to be. It's here because it was found. The entire universe was rearranged for this encounter. You and Vishnu, face to face again, after so many cycles, so many lives, so many searches. And he smiles. A calm, serene smile that says, I've always been here, you had simply forgotten. At this moment, the energy field around you begins to change. The air feels lighter, the body calmer, the mind quieter. That is his presence. Vishnu is touching you through words, through sound, through vibration. And his touch is not physical, it is cosmic. He is rekindling the memory of the divine within you. Close your eyes for a few seconds. Imagine a golden light slowly descending from the top of your head, traveling through your body, expanding into the surrounding environment. This is the energy of Vishnu, the energy of preservation and order. She comes to restore what has been broken, harmonize what has been distorted, and remind us of what has been forgotten. As this light envelops you, listen to what he whispers. The time for running away is over. The time for awakening has begun, and I chose you to be a channel for change. Yes, you were chosen, not through merit but through enthusiasm, because even when you fell, you kept believing. Even without seeing, you continued praying. Even without understanding, you continued waiting. And that persistence is faith. and faith is what attracts the gaze of the divine. Therefore, Vishnu is calling you today to remind you who you are, to restore what you lost, and to put you back on your original purpose. Write in the comments, "I answer the call of Vishnu." Write as if you were signing a spiritual pact. Each letter will be a vibration sent out into the universe, and Vishnu will see it. When you write, you are not commenting. You are answering a call, and the call demands a response. When you say yes, the universe responds with synchronicities, and what was stationary begins to move. The call has been made. Now, the next step is to open up. Open your heart, open your eyes, open your consciousness. Because Vishnu will start showing you signs everywhere. In the coming days, pay attention. Repeated words, numbers, unlikely encounters, vivid dreams, everything will be an answer. Nothing will be a coincidence. Everything will be communication. Vishnu's call is not just to comfort you, it's to prepare you. Something big is coming. And before the new arrives, the soul needs to remember where it came from. And that's what's happening now, the remembrance. You are remembering who you are. And Vishnu smiles because the purpose has begun. Now that you've heard the beginning of the call, you need to understand why his arrival at exactly this point in his life. The divine never gets ahead of us. He's never late. Vishnu acts with precision, and the precision of the divine is perfect. If this message reached you today, it's because the previous cycle of your life can no longer continue as it is. The soul no longer fits into the space where it has lived for so long. And every time the soul grows, the world around it begins to shrink. The feeling of unease you've been experiencing, the feeling that something is wrong, even when nothing concrete has happened. The desire to change everything, but not knowing where to begin. None of this is confusing. It's the spirit trying to move while the mind tries to keep you stagnant, and Vishnu calls you precisely at the moment when the spirit asks for progress and the mind asks for repetition. He's calling you to break through this conflict. I'm calling you because you're ready for the next level of your consciousness. Perhaps you think you're not ready, those who still lack sufficient strength, faith, or clarity. But that is precisely why the call came. You only become stronger when it answers at the call, but not before. Strength does not precede awakening. It is born from it. Vishnu never calls those who are ready. He calls on those who are willing, and you are. Even amidst your doubts, you feel the truth vibrating within you. Even in your fears, there's something saying go. This is spiritual courage beginning to emerge. Now listen carefully. You were called because you possess a spiritual sensitivity that other people do not possess. You can tell when something is wrong even before it happens. You can sense when someone isn't being genuine. Sense when a change is approaching. It vibrates differently when it's on the right path. This is not weakness, and it's a gift. And that gift was dormant. Vishnu wants to awaken him again. Because the world needs people who listen to what the ego ignores. People who feel what cannot be said. People who perceive the invisible. And you are one of those souls. Do you know why you've suffered so much lately? Because he was trying to stay where he no longer belonged. Life kept pushing you out, and you kept insisting on going back. The doors were closing, and you were trying to force them open. Your body was getting tired, and you ignored it. But there comes a point when the universe stops giving warnings with signs and starts giving warnings with disruptions. And before that happened, Vishnu decided to call you. This call is a diversion from the pain, a shortcut to wake you up without having to break anything else. Vishnu is telling you now, you don't know it, but I chose you long before you were born. You came with a mission, not grand in the eyes of the world, but essential in the eyes of the spirit. The mission is not to save the world. It's not about changing crowds. It's not about carrying impossible weights. It's something much simpler and much more profound, to keep the flame of conscience alive. The world is full of people who live on autopilot. They do, they run, they react. But you, even without realizing it, have always been the one who observes, questions, and feels. That's awareness, and it's rare, and that's why you were called. Something important is going to happen in the next few days. You'll start to realize that some things that used to hurt you no longer affect you as they once did. Discussions, conflicts, emotional burdens, all of that will begin to lose its power. It is Vishnu removing from you what does not belong to the new phase. You will also notice an increase in your intuition. Thoughts will arrive as if they were answers. Other people's words will sound like messages. The signs will repeat themselves. All of this is the so-called deepening. It is the divine fine-tuning your spiritual channel. Right now, your inner self is undergoing a profound reorganization, a cleansing you didn't ask for, but that your soul needed. Old pains are rising to the surface to be released. Old beliefs are being broken. Old attachments are being weakened. Don't fight it. It's Vishnu stirring up something that was stagnant. He calls you because you have a different destiny than your mind imagined. The mind creates limitations. The soul creates pathways, and Vishnu communicates with the soul. Now write in the comments, "I trust in the calling of Vishnu." Write as if you're handing over control, as if to say, "I accept being guided," because that's how the universe works. Through permission. You need to allow the divine to guide you. Each written letter vibrates like energy. Every word is a signal to the universe. Vishnu responds to what vibrates, not to what is said superficially. If you write with sincerity, you will feel the change immediately in your body, mind, or heart. It will be light, but real. There is something very important that you need to know. Vishnu's call doesn't come to take something away from you. It comes to give it back. Return your essence, to restore your clarity, give back your strength, to give back the part of yourself that has been stifled over the past few years. Life has shaped you so much that you've forgotten who you really were. But Vishnu did not forget. He kept that pure and luminous version of you safe in his soul, and now he is guiding you back to her. You are not being called to a new life. You are being called to yourself, for the version you missed, for the light you let fade, for the purpose that lay dormant. This calling is an invitation to return home. Not a physical home, but a spiritual home. The place where you understand, where you belong, where you breathe without fear. And when you fully heed that calling, three things will happen. Peace will become your new standard. Not a fleeting peace, but a deep, constant, and silent peace. This is the signature of the divine. You will begin to attract everything that vibrates at the frequency of your new consciousness. The right people, the right opportunities, the right paths. Whatever no longer resonates with you will disappear, naturally, without pain, without struggle, without violent ruptures, because the divine gently removes what is no longer useful. The call has been made, you heard, and now Vishnu will begin to move his life forward. What you feel right now, whether it's peace, a shiver, lightness, or emotion, is confirmation. It's the energy of the calling anchoring itself within you. It's the beginning of change. Now that you've heard the call and understood why it reached you, the most important part is missing, or purpose. No divine calling exists without direction, without intention, without a mission. And Vishnu does not awaken a soul without reason. If you were reached today, it's because something inside you is ready to bloom, something that has been dormant, hidden, stifled by the demands of the world. Vishnu is saying, "I called you here to remind you what you came here to do." And what you came to do is no small feat. It may seem simple to the world, but it is enormous to the spirit. The greatest purpose of an awakened soul is not grandiose. It is clean. It's not flashy. It's silent. It's not about transforming crowds, but about living in alignment. Because when a soul aligns itself, it alters everything around it, effortlessly, without imposition, without noise. That is why Vishnu is calling you now, to leave behind a life lived out of obligation, and enter a life lived with passion, to let go of the weight of expectations and embrace the lightness of purpose, to stop reacting to the world and finally begin to guide you with their own energy. But what is the mission? Vishnu responds clearly. Your mission is to be present. Wherever you go, the environment changes. Wherever you speak, someone awakens. Where you remain, chaos falls silent. You don't realize this because you're used to the light itself, but the world feels it. People approach you to vent, ask for advice, ask for strength, even when you yourself feel tired. This is the clearest sign of a soul that carries a divine presence. Vishnu calls you to refine that presence, so that it ceases to be a burden and becomes your greatest strength. But that's not all. There is something deeper. You have been called because you are entering a new spiritual cycle, a cycle of restoration. Restoring your energy, restoration of your faith, restoring your identity, restoring your path. For a long time, You lived adapting to everything around you, to people, environments, expectations. Now is the time to live from the inside out and no longer from the outside in. This calling is the beginning of your journey. Turn to yes. Vishnu also wants you to understand something very important. You are not broken. You are being reborn. What you interpreted as failure was simply the end of a cycle. What you interpreted as loss was actually purification. What you interpreted as silence was preparation. And now the cycle is complete. Vishnu is lifting you up. It's aligning you. It's repositioning you. What seemed to be standing still will begin to move. What seemed distant will begin to draw closer. What seemed impossible will begin to take shape. Because when a soul answers the call, the universe responds. From now on, pay attention to the signs. They will come in three ways: sudden intuition, thoughts that arise as answers even without you asking; synchronicities, repeated numbers, phrases that appear in different places, unlikely encounters; physical sensations, chills, warmth in the chest, sudden peace, a weight being lifted from the body. These are the three doors that Vishnu uses to continue the dialogue. Try this doesn't end here. Today's call is just the first step. Communication continues. And now, Vishnu wants to reveal to you what you may never have heard about yourself. You were chosen because you have a heart that doesn't harden, even when you suffer. This is rare. This is valuable. This is sacred. People like you are guardians of energy. You carry a sensitivity that the modern world tries to destroy, but cannot. Even when wounded, you are still capable of love. Even when disappointed, he remains capable of believing. And even when tired, he is still able to get up. This is spiritual strength, the strength that the divine recognizes, honors, and uses to transform other lives. The call that has reached you has three main purposes. 1. Realign yourself with your spiritual path. In the coming days, you will have more clarity about decisions that previously seemed daunting. You'll know what to keep, what to let go of, and where to go. This clarity will come from within, not from external opinions. 2. To protect you from what was about to hurt you. There is something you don't see, but Vishnu does, and he called you today so that you wouldn't step onto the wrong ground. The escape from suffering has begun now. 3. Prepare yourself for a positive change, an opportunity, a connection, an unexpected move. You were called because you are one step away from something that will transform your life, and one needed to be awake to receive. Take a deep breath now. Feel your body lighter. This lightness is not psychological, it's spiritual. It is Vishnu cleansing the energy field around you while you listen. The call was heard, the path has been opened, and the new cycle began. Before finishing, Vishnu gives you one more phrase. Short, but powerful. Do not be afraid. What's coming is better than what was. Keep this in mind. Repeat that. Life will prove it to you. If this message touched your heart, if you felt chills, calm, tears, warmth, that's confirmation. It is the presence of Vishnu saying, yes, it was you I wanted to talk to. And now, to continue receiving messages from the divine, subscribe to this channel. Not like someone who clicks a button, but like someone who answers the call. Each video here is a continuation of this spiritual dialogue between you and Vishnu. Each message is an extension of the vibration that began today. May Vishnu be with you. May he protect you. May he guide you. And may this calling be the beginning of your spiritual rebirth. You were called and you answered. Now, the journey begins.